the TV, but fortunately the Cubs were on, so everybody seemed willing to settle in and suffer together. Nothing like having a relative in intensive care to put another crappy Cubs season into perspective. I hadn't seen the old man since 4 a.m, and wished like hell that waxy gray look he had would go away. "Dad. Hey, Dad," I whispered from the foot of the bed. "You're looking great. How you doing?" Abe looked like he was trying to be doing good. It wasn't that easy. I'm sure all he wanted was for it to be the way it was Friday before he collapsed with a massive heart attack, or the way it was 3 years ago when he and Sophie went to Roger's kid's bar mitzvah, or the way it was 30 years ago when he and Roger and I would sneak away from the store, take the L down to Wrigley Field, and play hooky for the day. I bet Abe didn't care which way it was he went back to, just so it would be any time but now. Now he must be scared shitless. I was. There hasn't ever been a whole lot of talk in the Feldman household about dying. But now, if we got through this part without the dying really happening, we would never be able not to think about it again. We all knew that. "Abe," whispered Sophie. "It's Chucky." "Mom, he knows. Right, Dad?" She just can't believe that she finally has you where she'd always wanted you, with all those tubes down your throat so you can't tell any of those lousy jokes. Abe almost smiled, but it was more than he could handle. His eyes closed immediately. Sophie and I spent the rest of our allotted 5-minute visit standing in a conversationless holding pattern, and hoping the next time we'd be allowed in, we'd get a little more of Abe back. As the morning progressed, the hospital began to take on more of a full Sunday look. Pre-church and post-church families with straight-from-the-supermarket cellophaned carnations started streaming in. This group to see their dying father, that group to see their dying grandmother. The thing I noticed most was that they all arrived in groups. Sunday is always a big group day. When you're alone, you feel Sundays in a tough way. Tougher even than Saturday nights. At least Saturday nights are dark. You can hide. Or you can hang out with a buddy. Granted, in my case, I'm usually hanging out with a bunch of guys in face masks at some hockey rink. Or I have for the last 3 years. That's when they took me off baseball and I started covering the Blackhawks. But even during the summer, when I'm off, Sundays are the day that you notice your oneness the most. Everybody shows up in some version of a unit. Nuclear families, extended families, divorced dads with their kids, divorced moms with their kids, divorced dads with their kids and girlfriends, divorced moms with their kids and boyfriends, straight couples with no kids, gay couples with no kids, and kid couples who you hope like hell are smart enough not to have kids. Just about every kind of demographic mutation always seems to show up full force on Sundays. Except singles. Single guys, anyway. Single women get together on Sundays, but not us guys. Not guys my age. No way am I going to call up a guy and say, "Let's get some brunch and watch the game at the bar." For Christ's sakes, I'm 44. My friends aren't available for games. My friends are married, or they're divorced. But on Sunday, they all have some version of family or fatherhood to deal with. Like Bobby. Bobby Tuckerman was my best friend all the way through San High School. Then after college, when I came home from Michigan and he came home from Madison, we shared an apartment for 2 years. Bobby was in dental school and I worked nights at City News Bureau, so we figured out how to squeeze our alternate sleep schedules into a cheap one-bedroom place on Belmont. Until we hit a triple snag. I got switched to the day shift, Bobby fell in love with Sherry Lowenberg, and Sherry wanted to move in. The solution was real clear. So long, Charlie. That was okay with me. I wasn't crazy about Sherry. She was a world-class complainer. So I moved out, Sherry moved in, they got married, and now they were the proud owners and operators of Jennifer, Joshua, and Jason Tuckerman, ages 17, 14, and 8, respectively. I started out pretty involved with their kids, in an Uncle Charlie way. But once